So my project is 3D printing biomaterials to try and treat cleft palate. So the idea is to try and take some biodegradable kind of materials and 3D print them into a device that we could use as a regenerative approach to treating cleft palate in children.
About my research project. So even though I'm at the School of Clinical Dentistry, I'm working with corneal regeneration. So what we do here in the biomaterials department inside the School of Clinical Dentistry, we're creating a scaffold made with biopolymers that can be used as cornea for corneal regeneration with patients that have corneal blindness.
So in my project, I'm looking at growing fibroblasts, which are a type of cell that you find in a lot of the connective tissue in your body. I'm using electrospun scaffolds, which mimic the extracellular matrix. So lots of really fine fibers. When I grow fibroblasts on the scaffolds, I'm sort of hoping that it will mimic the conditions in the human body a little bit better. And so if we could grow them alongside other cells, that's sort of the future scope of the work.
The most enjoyable part is probably getting things to work. It's not always easy, but when it does eventually come together, certainly with the 3D printing, it's something you actually can see working quite well. So it's like a good pat on the back for you to say, yeah, things are working well now. Yeah.
The most enjoyable part of my research has been how to deal with my supervisors. I think the most important thing when you are doing a PhD is how much you know your supervisors and how much they think about you in your research, because she always have given me the options to be able to tell her my ideas, to be able to feel that my research is actually me the one doing it, me the one in the driver's seat, and they are supervising me on it. And I think that extra, support from them is something I really, really appreciate.
So far, the most enjoyable part of my research has probably been working with other people. My particular research group is quite diverse. Lots of different people from different backgrounds. So for the first few months of my project, it was very much, I'd be asking lots of people for help and they'd be teaching me different things. But sort of for the first time now, there's a few things that I can do. And so I get to help sort of give back and help other people with their research, teach them different techniques in the lab. So I've really enjoyed that.
So when you started working in your PhD in research, a lot of things that are happening are not working, but that's normal. A lot of people get very, very frustrated on it. I have some experience, but that doesn't change the fact that I got frustrated. Like after 1 year, none of the things I was doing was getting me enough results. And when you compare yourself with other PhD students and you see, well, they're actually getting more results than me, well, it does grow on you. But again, I think the supports you have on all the work you are doing is just getting better and better. I think the only advice I can do is like, part of research is to be able to deal with that frustration and just keep pushing, and that's what I did.
The biggest challenge probably at this stage of my PhD is just the scope of it. It's so much bigger than anything else I've taken on before. I'm trying to write a literature review and there are literally hundreds, thousands of papers that are relevant. It's just a case of taking it day by day, I think. If you look at the big picture and think I've got another 4 years of this and it's huge and difficult to get your head around, but really it's what can I do each day? That's been my way of dealing with it so far.
One of the big challenges was a lot of things on my PhD not really working out the first time. So you kind of can lose a little bit of time here and there, and then you're under pressure to catch up, which is probably a feeling that all PhD students have. So yeah, it's that kind of feeling of limited time and time being wasted and trying to get everything finished.
Yes, my experience so far has been really positive. I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the working environment, working with other people, taking ownership of your own work. It's a really wonderful opportunity, and if you actually are interested in a particular project, then you should definitely pursue it, because you really become the expert in that particular field. I think already I'm quite proud of the work I've done. It's going to be a lot of hard work, but if you can cope with that and you're you're inspired by the research, then you should definitely take on a PhD.
I would recommend a PhD overall. I think it's a good character building experience. I think you get a lot out of it in terms of your ability to work as an individual. And yeah, at the end of the day, I think you have a lot of pride in what you produce by the end of it, because you know how much work has gone into it.
I'm from Chile, and I want to follow up a research career. For doing that, I did my master here, and then I need a PhD. If you are thinking on doing research, or if you feel like you want to explore doing your own science, a PhD is needed. So yes, I recommend it.